This tape has been copyrighted. Any duplication or reproduction without written consent is prohibited.
Well, I want to commend you for being here. I mean, most people would be out by the pool, it means that you're serious about your future. And if you're serious, I'm serious, okay? I just want to let you know that. I'm very excited about that. There's quite a few of you here, which is really, really encouraging. I happen to believe that, your ability to overcome the issues or objections or areas of concern that clients have is a key to becoming successful at whatever you do in any business. I don't care what it is. Especially so in our business, you're not going to get to where you want to go unless, because whenever you're presenting a product, an opportunity, there are going to be objections that are going to come up. It's just because people are always skeptical, right? Before you do something with them. Even you could have the best thing going in the world, and still people are going to be skeptical. That's just part of the process. So your ability to overcome that skepticism, to help them rationalize a decision to go ahead with you, either as a client or as a new recruit, is the key to your future. I mean, it just is. So you got to get good at that. And also, you got one of the primary reasons you need to get competent and good at what I'm about to do is because you need to be training your people like I'm about to train you. If you duplicate yourself, that's a key to your futures. All of you, your ability to get people to your level of competence is your key to your success. And the more people you can get to your level of competence, that's where you're going to be successful. I've got a lot of people that are very competent. I've done a decent job of getting a number of people to a pretty decent level of competency, which is why I have the kind of business I have. It's that simple. It's not complicated. It's that. But first, I mastered it first, so then I could then duplicate myself, right? I mean, if you don't have it down, if the copy is not clear, then you know what happens, right? It doesn't come out very well, so you want to work on that. I wanted to share something with you in starting. I got this. I can't remember who gave this to me. Maybe if they're here, they'll remind me. But I got this at Jerry Ward. Where's Jerry? Is Jerry here? Anyways, Jerry gave this to me. That's right. He went. I guess he or I don't know who went to one of these training things. And in the training, what they found out in training people, that the components of training in a presentation, the percent who understand a typical presentation is 85%. The percent of people who can do the presentation is 15%, and the percent that actually do it is 5 to 10%. So when you present something, you get a very low percentage of people who actually do it, right? And what you ultimately want is you want this, right? You want your people to do something, right? Okay, so if you want them to do something, you want to know what's the most effective way to get people to do something, right? Because a lot of you are struggling to try to get your team to do something. You hire people, they come, they're excited, but they don't do anything. Anybody have that issue? Okay. Presentation's one way of training. Another is modeling. They just watch you. 85% can understand it, what you're doing. 18% can do it. And still, only 5 to 10% actually do it. So modeling is not very effective, really, right? And then, if you look a little further, practice and informal feedback. Okay, practicing the presentation and that sort of thing, and informal feedback, same numbers basically. 85% understand it, 80% can do it, right? They can actually do it, which is a lot better, but still only the number that actually do it is 10 to 15%. We're still not where we want to be, right? We're still really have a long way to go. Coaching, study, teams, peer, and visits, right? Look at this. Look at the number. It goes to 85, 80, and 80 to 90%. And what this to me means, field training. See, the coaching, study, peer visits, when you're actually spending time with them. I think one of the reasons that I have developed a great business is because I was a prolific field trainer. That's what I was. And I don't see very many people doing that. What I've noticed in PFS is when people become regional vice presidents, they really, the amount of field training they do dramatically drops off. And now I know that because I look at the numbers every month and I look at the amount of production RVPs do. And my average RVP in my organization does somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000 a month in personal production, which means they're not field training anybody. And most of them are under $1,000 on an average. If you took an average month, most of them are doing under $1,000 in training, which means they're not field training, they're not coaching, they're not spending time, they're not developing the relationships with the people that ultimately are going to be their RVPs. So if you're not spending the time, if you're not in the field actually showing people how to do it, you're not duplicating yourself, which guarantees that you will never have a great business. And see, what the challenge happens is that all the RVPs are letting their RMs and stuff field train everybody, and they're getting a vision of something that's less than what they would be getting if they were doing it themselves, especially with the key people. And I think that's the number one reason why most of you don't grow. And the thing that I did, I think better than anybody in PFS ever, is I stayed field training people for a very long time. I was doing 1,000 sales a month in my hierarchy when I stopped field training, and the worst mistake I ever made in my career was getting out of the field. I wish I would have stayed in another 2 or 3 years. If I could go back in time, that's what I would have done, because I got out of the field in 1990. If I would have just stayed until 92, I'd still be out of the field 5 years. You with me? That time went by so fast anyways. I probably would have produced another 20 or 25 first-generation RVPs, and instead of doing $300,000, $350,000 through first, I'd be doing $700,000 to $1 million, and then, which means instead of making $2 million a year, I'd probably be making closer to $4 million a year right now. So that little mistake that I made there cost me didn't just cost me that, it cost me probably $2 or $3 million a year times 20. Cost me about, I think over my career, that mistake that I made there of I listened to Mike Sharp. Mike Sharp talked me into getting out. He says, oh, you'll be more effective. You can talk to more people if you're home. If you're on the field, you're only with one person or 2 people a night. You'd be way more effective. What I didn't realize is all the people that I would be talking to were the wrong people because they were at home. And I would be trying to motivate the wrong people, where I should have been in the field with somebody that could actually do the biz, where I could duplicate myself. Because if I could just create one more Rick Susie or one more George Verdugo or one more Chris Howard, right? And the way you do it is personally, right? I probably could have easily produced 3 or 4 more guys like that over that period of time, because I would have spent the time with them, indoctrinated them with the right thinking, right? Built a relationship, locked them in, right? All that stuff. Instead, I've left it up to my RMs and stuff like that, right? Which that's a mistake. Just telling you, it's a mistake I made. And so those of you that I can't wait to get out of the field, I just want you to know how dumb you are, okay? Because you are really dumb. And I mean that. Because you don't understand. I wasn't anxious to get out of the field. If you're really good, the field's easy. Folks, the field's easier than putting on meetings and doing all the other stuff to me. I got great feedback from being in the field because people, because I was always good at building relationships and getting people to like me and trust me. I would never go on appointments with people that didn't have qualified warm markets. I didn't field train people that weren't 5-pointers. I didn't go on any appointments that weren't totally in the market. I just didn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And if you took me once, I wouldn't go out with you again. And so as a result, my closing ratio was really high. I didn't, it was just great. And one of the issues that most people have, and why you're not getting a lot of people field trained, is because people don't perceive that you're going to get great results, so they're not anxious to take you to see people. The thing that happened with me is that people knew that they were going to get great results, so they were anxious to take me to see people. You see what I'm saying? So what you need to do is get your skill level up. So what I want to do today is I really want to show you what it's supposed to look like, how you're supposed to, and I'm going to explain everything as I do it. I'm not just going to show you, but I'm going to talk you through it because it's just really, this is very important to your career. And I want to motivate you to get to Hopkins too, because everything I'm going to do is Hopkins 100%. And let me just tell you what Hopkins really is, okay? What that training is. It's your ability to ask questions. That's what you've got to get down. It's not coercing people or manipulating people or whatever the things you've thought of in the past. That's not what professional sales is. Professional sales is asking questions, leading people to a conclusion that's good for them. That's what you're trying to do. And we're in a business, thank God, where it's very difficult to hurt somebody. You know, you're taking them from cash value to term, right? That's pretty much impossible to hurt them with the term policy. You're taking them from banks, credit unions, cash value insurance savings vehicles to a mutual fund. It's pretty much impossible to hurt them doing that. You're taking them from being in debt to being out of debt. You know, how are you going to hurt somebody with that, right? You see what I'm saying? So the things you're trying to close people on are good for them. It can only help them, so you should never feel anxious about trying to close somebody when you're leading them to that conclusion. Does that make sense? You should never feel any anxiety, and when you're trying to recruit them, what's happening to a lot of you and why you're not recruiting more people is your belief that if you recruit them, they're going to struggle like you struggle. Most of you that aren't recruiting, you have a belief that prevents you. You look at them, you go, man, if I get them in, I've really struggled. It's been really painful for me, and they're going to feel that same pain. So then, what happens? You talk yourself out of being aggressive to try to get them involved because you believe that they're going to experience what you've experienced. See, the reason I didn't have any problem is because I was closing, right? And I believed if they got in and they did what I did, they're going to have a lot of success, and they were going to close everybody, and they're going to make money and be successful. That was my belief. That's what I started with. That was the premise. So I had no problem if I met a Greg Gunn to focus and say, Greg, you need to get in this thing, man. If you get in and you follow me and you do what I show you how to do, you're going to make nothing but money. You're going to have tons of success. It's going to be unbelievable. I wasn't thinking, oh my God, if he comes in, he's going to struggle. He's maybe not be able to make his house payment. I didn't think that. I believed that he was going to be successful. And I also understood, I'm a realist, that if he didn't do the things I told him to do, he was going to struggle, and it was going to be tough. But that's his problem, not mine. See, that's his problem. That's his decision, because I'm going to teach him the right things, and then he has a choice to take that and run with it or do what he wants to do. And so I never took credit for his success or his failure. See, I've never done that. When you guys are struggling, I don't take credit for that, and when you succeed, I don't ever take credit for that. Because I offer the same thing to everybody that's ever come into business. It's always the same. And some people run with it and some people don't. What am I going to do? Right? What are you going to do? I don't have any other obligation but to present the same thing to everybody. You have the opportunity to do with it what you please, okay? And so that way I never felt guilty about people struggling. I just don't feel guilty about it. I don't because I know that it's simply a decision to change that. Because I've told everybody that's in my business since day one that I listen to Hopkins tapes 2 hours a day, 5 days a week for 3 straight years. And I don't think I have one person that's ever done that in my organization ever. Okay? So if you're not willing to do what I did, you cannot expect to have what I have. You just can't. Okay? It's just not going to happen. No chance, no way. Because you listen to it 20 or 30 times and then you start getting bored with Tom's voice and you stop doing it. Now it's my fault because you're struggling? Hey, I'm not taking credit for that. All right? Do you want to win? Then you do those things. So I'm going to show you why it makes sense. Because, folks, if you're struggling, it's because your closing ability is suspect. I never struggled at the business. It was never difficult for me because I had this down, what I'm about to talk about. PFS has always been easy for me. Always. From the very beginning, the only struggle was to get other people to do what they needed to do. But for me, personally, it was never been difficult. I never had a problem recruiting people. I never had a problem closing transactions. Never. Okay? I never looked at it as difficult. I thought when I came in here, this was like Disneyland. To take somebody from spending $100 a month for $50,000 to $400,000 in protection for $50, what's that? I mean, that's like a complete no-brainer, right? Or to take them from being in debt to taking them out of debt, I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? To take them from a 3 or 4%, 5, 6% passive account to an average of 14% in a mutual fund, that's not even a sale. You guys don't even know what sales is. Sale is selling somebody to some young couple sitting across the counter from you that has $75 and closing them on a $1,000 wedding set and $60 or $70, $80 a month in payments for a year. That's a sale that they don't need, okay? But to take somebody to have them spend less money or get 4 times better rate of return or get them out of debt, that is not a sale. That's a joke. What you're looking at as difficult to me was like, what do you mean, no? What part of this don't you understand, okay? See, I didn't ever, you see, so what happens is all your perspective is what I'm getting at, see? Your perspective is what's preventing you from being successful. How you look at the thing is what is the difference, okay? It's the total difference. So what I want to do is I want to take some questions. Actually, can I have a volunteer, a couple? Anybody? A couple people. 2 people, husband and wife, male, female. We'll have Dave and Tina Howard. They're right up from their RVPs. Oh, they're already out of their seat. Come on, we'll have the Georges up here, okay? All right, man. We need another chair. Can we get another chair up here? Another chair? Here. I want to preface this by saying that I have not been in the field for 7 years, okay? All right? No, that's not an excuse. I'm not making an excuse. I just want to show you that when you have it down, it's like riding a bike. You never lose it. Okay? See? It doesn't matter. Because I haven't been. And I've never really been on an F&A presentation, to be honest with you. But that doesn't matter either. Here, this is the mic. Awesome. Okay? See, one of the reasons a lot of you are doing F&As, you have another mic? Maybe we'll take that. Yeah. You have enough stuff there for me? Okay. One of the reasons you have a lot of people doing F&As right now, and the reason that they're not getting the results is that they're not tying people down. That's the reason. You have a lot of people doing F&As, and they're coming back, and they're not tying the clients down. And what you've got to do is you have to tie them down at every point. Like when you take the information, and I'm not going to do the whole information, but if I take all this information from Claudia and John, the one commitment I'm going to get, once I get the information, I'm going to sit down and say, John and Claudia, we're going to come back with an analysis and take a look at all the things that we're doing for you right here. We're going to be able to help you. There's no question in my mind. From my experience, just by the information you've given me, we're going to make a tremendous difference. It's not going to be a little difference. It's going to be significant in the tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollar range. But in order for that to happen, you're going to have to make a decision to implement some of the strategies that we're going to come back with, that I'm going to come back with. And I want to, I'm going to be investing somewhere probably between 3 to 6 hours in your program and helping you set up a plan and all that sort of thing. So before I leave, I want to just get clear a commitment from you that if I do this and I come back with a strategy that's superior to what you're currently doing, can you see any reason when I come back, if it makes sense to you, that you wouldn't go ahead and implement those strategies?
Makes sense. It makes sense.
You're ready if it makes sense? Sure. Great. Fantastic. So see, I'm going to ask that question. I'm not leaving the house unless I get that commitment right there. There's no possible way I'm leaving. If I don't get that commitment, if they hem and haw and they go, well, like let's hem and haw a little bit.
I don't know. Maybe I'll shop around if you show me some things.
Well, that's fine. I don't have a problem if you shop around. But if I'm going to do the work and I'm going to put it together for you and it's going to be superior to what you're currently doing, there's no sense in me doing that if I'm going to put something together that's going to help you and dramatically improve your situation. For me to do that, the only way that I can come back is if we're going to get a commitment to do something. And if it's not better for you, I'm not going to ask for a commitment. I'm only going to ask for a commitment if it's substantially better than what you're currently doing. All I want to know, if it's better, can you think of any reason right now why you wouldn't go ahead with it?
Probably. We're going to look at it when you come back. We talk about things before we do anything.
I don't have a problem with you talking about it, but if it's better than what you're doing right now, and you can see that there's a significant improvement in what you're doing, and it also improves the future as well, can you think of any reason why you wouldn't implement the program?
No, if it's an improvement.
It's going to benefit us in the future.
And I'm only going to ask for a commitment if it benefits you. But if it does, I just want to know, because if you're not going to do that, there's no sense in us going through the whole routine. For me, there's no sense in it, and for you either. We're going to waste your time and waste mine. I don't want to waste your time as valuable as mine is. I just want to know if it's better that we can, consider going ahead.
Sure, if it's better.
Great. See how I didn't let that die? Because if they go, I want to think about it, most of you go, okay, well, I might have a chance to close it. If they don't commit, I'm not coming back. See, the reason you do that is because you don't see your time as being valuable. That's why you do that. The way you believe about your time, you don't see it. My time's valuable. If these people aren't serious, thank you very much. I'm out of here. I'm on to the next person. I will not come back. And you might go, well, I don't know if I can. Hey, you better start doing this, because I'm going to impress upon them that my time's I'm serious about this. This is not a joke to me. I'm going to save them tens of. So if they still waver, I say, maybe I didn't make myself clear. I'm going to get you guys completely out of debt probably within 10 years. I'm going to probably put an additional 2, 3, 4, 500,000 in your retirement most likely. If you die prematurely, you're going to probably end up with 2 or 3 times more protection than you currently have. You're going to be in so much better shape. So, I mean, if it's going to be that radical, can you think of any reason why you wouldn't go ahead?
It's ridiculous, right?
See, and I would say that, just like that. I want to make them feel stupid for not going ahead. That's my goal. You with me? In a nice, professional way. You with me? I'm not being obnoxious. I'm just being direct. I don't want to be obnoxious. I'm not going to hammer them, but I want a commitment from them. Most of you don't do that. For sure, 90% of your people don't do that. And that's why you constantly get the phone call, how'd it go? Well, they said they wanted to think about it. And what'd you do? Right? And that's how you hear, anybody ever that conversation?
Sure.
Right? Well, if they would do this, that wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. Every now and then you're going to get a jerk, that's going to, even after they give you the commitment, they're not going to go. That does happen. It's rare, though. It's very rare. And it's especially rare if you develop rapport with the client, and the client likes you, okay? And trusts you, right? And so another commitment I would get, is I'd say, listen, because I showed them the F&A already, right? We've already gone through a sample F&A, and I showed them the shortfall. And I would go back to that. I would say, typically on the summary page, remember I showed you this? Most clients, 9 out of 10 clients, you guys have a shortfall of some sort. When they're trying to accomplish their goals and dreams are usually a little bit bigger than their income. And so, most likely, you're going to have some sort of shortfall. I don't know what the number is. We'll find out after we get all of the input put in. But if there is, in fact, a shortfall, you're going to be set up with 2 choices, you guys. One choice is to radically reduce your goals and dreams. In other words, put them aside or maybe put them further out in the future. That's one of the options you have. The other option you're going to have is to look at making additional income, enough more money so that you can accomplish your goals and dreams. Which one of those 2 things sounds most attractive to you guys at this point?
More money. We've been looking to make more money. Yeah.
So that in fact, if I come back and there is a shortfall, and I can show you how to make more money to accomplish that, to shore up that shortfall. Can you think of any reason why you wouldn't at least explore that possibility to make that extra money?
No, I would look at it.
Okay, great, fantastic. If he tells me, no, I don't think this is not for me, right? Does that ever happen?
It's just sales.
Okay.
I'm not a salesperson, though.
Listen, let me ask you a question, John Clare. If you do have a shortfall, let's say your shortfall is $1,000 a month. Do you have some other alternative way to earn that $1,000 a month right now?
Not really.
So you really don't have any other options at this point, right?
No, not really.
So I'm not clear. Why wouldn't you at least explore that possibility? It's just another option. I mean,
for one, I'm not in sales, and 2, I'm busy. We're real busy.
All right.
We have a lot of things going with the family.
Okay, but most people are busy, and that's good because I'd rather work with somebody that's busy that's not busy. But the fact is, if there's a shortfall, you're going to have that opportunity to make a decision. And if you want to accomplish your goals and dreams, you're going to have to make that extra money. You realize that, right?
Sure.
Okay, so if you can do that, I can help you to do that, and you can feel comfortable with that. Are you willing to sacrifice some of your spare time or some of your time in order to accomplish that, or are you going to make the decision to not accomplish those goals and dreams?
It's going to be a significant, change for a family. We'll do.
How much time are you talking about?
How much time can you invest?
Couple days a week, probably.
Did you see what I did right there? See, most of you would say, "Oh, it doesn't take very much time at all." You don't do that. As soon as he asks a question, I need to ask another question, right? How much time are you willing to invest? Because I want to find out where he's at. So he says a couple days a week. Great, fantastic. Sometimes they'll say, I'm so busy, I just don't have any time. My next question is, how many days a week do you work?
5.
Oh, 5. So then you have 2 additional days free then.
Yeah, it's family day, and I take care of the lawn and change my oil.
And when you work during the week, do you work 12 hours or 16 hours a day, or do you work
8 hours.
Oh, 8. So what time do you usually get off work?
5:30.
5:30. So then you're really free from 6 to 9.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday. Okay. You know what? Most of you don't ask those questions, though. See? Because when they say too busy, I want to qualify that. I'm going to make him explain that. There's no way that he's too busy. It's just that I didn't ask the right questions. So I asked a question. How many hours a week, how many days a week do you work?
I work 6.
We work 6, so that means he has 1 day free. How many hours a day do you work?
I work 8 hours a day, but then I have softball on Tuesday, and Boy Scouts on Wednesday, and we have some church things on Thursday, and Friday we go to the movies.
Okay.
Monday.
Which one of those things is more important than you accomplishing your goals and dreams?
Which one of those things?
Probably the softball.
See what I'm doing? I'm just asking questions, right? I asked a question, so he's going to have to qualify which one's more important, right? Well, if he says none of them, I said, well, then you're willing to rearrange that and maybe cut something back so that you can earn the additional money. Is that what you're telling me
Yeah,
then?
we could probably cut
You
something.
could probably cut something. If it was serious, if it was important to you and you could see that you could do it, you would do that, wouldn't you?
Sure.
Great,
Add
super,
value.
fantastic. See, it's just a question thing. A lot of your people are stumbling, a lot of you are stumbling because you don't ask questions. A lot of the people that you're not recruiting, you could be recruiting. Simply by doing that. That turned a light on, just that question right there, right? I mean, just that one little question changes a lot of things for you, right? Okay, so we got that. So we got that commitment, all right? I come back, when I'm going through the F&A, for example, okay, one of the things when you're explaining the F&A, I would be going through this and I would be saying, look, when I come back with your information, it's going to have a lot of information. One of them is going to be your goals and objectives, and it's going to show all that stuff. But the most important thing that's going to happen is it's going to show you how your expense, what your monthly income is, and all your expenditures, and it's going to show you the percentages. So right now, do you currently? Because one of the things you want to do is you want to motivate people to give you the information, right? Because you have to motivate them. They're not going to give it to you. They have to see that there's a benefit to them giving you this information and opening up their personal life to you, right? Especially when it's a stranger. People are very, very, they're cautious about giving up information that's personal. Sometimes they're embarrassed, right? They're very embarrassed about their situation, so you have to make them feel, motivated to want to give you that information. So one of the things my goals is when I'm going through the F&A is to motivate you to give me information. That's the whole idea of showing a person an F&A. I would say, John and Claudia, one of the things we're going to show is we're going to find out exactly what percentage of your income is going to each respective area, like living expenses, how much of your income is going to debt, to insurance premiums, to savings, to taxes, all those areas. Do you know the exact percentages that you're spending in those areas?
I don't have a clue.
You don't have any idea? Well, then you're normal. So then it would be important for you to have that, right? So that you would like to know that information, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the ways we're going to do this, when we take the information, it's very imperative that you're very, very thorough and we cover every little detail and we get a lot of information so we can be very exact on where the percentages are. The other thing we're going to find out is what your assets are and then what your liabilities, which equates to your net worth. Because see this net worth right here, this example shows $37,000, right? This person's net worth. Well, that number is critical. If that number, do you think a person with a $37,000 net worth can retire?
No.
Because even at 10%, that's going to give them $3,700 a year in income, which is not possible. So whatever your number is, and I don't know what that number is, that number has to be significant in order for you to retire. And what I found out about wealthy people is wealthy people always know what their net worth is, and people that aren't wealthy don't even have a clue what net worth even is.
I didn't even know what net worth meant.
Right, exactly. So wouldn't you feel it's important if you wanted to be wealthy to know what your net worth is and then to have a plan of attack to make sure that net worth number grows? That's the thing that I'm going to help you with the most, is I'm going to help you grow that net worth number so that you can get financially free. Okay?
Sounds good.
Isn't that exciting? See, I want to sell value, and then retirement. On retirement, we're going to find out what your retirement needs are, okay? And see, do you know what your FIN number is right now?
What's a FIN number?
It's your financial independence number. What the number is of cash you have to have accumulated in order for you to be financially independent. You don't know what that number is? So do you want to know that number then, don't you?
Sure.
Okay, so that's another thing I'm going to be able to do is show you what your FIN number is. Okay, exactly what that is with this. See, from this person's FIN number is $3 million. They have to have $3 million for them to be financially independent. You have a number too, and your number will be different, but you need to know that. The other thing is, we're going to cover college education. Do you know exactly the amount? You have 2 children, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you know exactly the amount you need to save on a monthly basis in order for your kids to go to college?
No.
No? No idea? You'd want to know that number, right? So that at least you can start moving in that direction, even if you're not moving in that direction. That's another thing we're going to show you. Any goals and dreams, if you wanted to, like you said that you wanted to buy a bigger home, right?
Yep,
that was one of the things you wanted to do. Well, you want to know exactly how much you have to put aside in order to accomplish that, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
Right?
otherwise it'll never happen.
Or else it'll never happen, exactly. Debt elimination, you guys have some debt. We found that out, a little bit of debt, right? Do you have a debt elimination date? Debt freedom date, rather? Do you have a debt freedom date set up already?
No.
I
Okay.
don't even know how to get out of it.
See, one of the things that I'm so most excited about, to be honest with you, is that I'm going to put together a plan to get you completely debt-free. And I don't mean just, pay off a couple of bills. I mean pay your home off, pay your cars off, and pay all your debt. If you had no debt, how much less stress in your life would you have right now?
None. Hardly
None?
any.
It'd be
None?
a piece.
What would you do differently that you don't do now if you had zero debt right now?
Probably save more, travel.
Yeah.
What else? How about you,
Yeah.
Claudia? What would you like to do?
Have the kids in private school.
Oh, great.
Get her out of
Great.
work.
Do you already have you picked out the school? Do you know which one you'd like to send
Yeah.
them to? Right.
It's a great school next.
Right.
close by.
It costs just expensive to send
Oh,
them
it's
to private school.
$7,000 a year. It's Warren Walker.
7,000?
Yeah.
Oh, so what does that work out to monthly? That's
600.
600.
Yeah,
So,
with 2 kids.
but if you didn't have a house payment, and you didn't have any car payments,
Oh,
you have
they
no
can
credit,
go
then that
there,
would be a
yeah.
piece of cake. It wouldn't be stressful, right? You could still do that and save money.
Yeah, there's
Right.
still little right now, so we can start saving.
So that's one of the most significant things I'm going to do. I'm going to show you a plan that's customized for you guys to get you completely debt-free. Isn't that exciting?
Sure is.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make him excited about being out of debt. See? I'm going to sell that as a major feature. And I'm going to get them talking about what would they do? Where would they, how would they live differently? How would they feel? Because, see, if you start getting people imagining what would it be like to be debt-free, can you imagine not having a house payment? Can any of you imagine not having a house payment? Not having any car payments? Not having any credit card payments? With the incomes you currently make, if you had no house payment, no car payments, and no debt payments, your standard of living, your quality of life would be significantly different. Your mental outlook on life would be radically different, right? Your relationship with your spouse would be radically different. Your kids, and when your kids come up to you and ask you, hey, Dad, I want to get this new pair of Nikes. I just saw Michael Jordan wearing them. How much are they? They're $148. Right now you go, get out of here. Are you crazy? Let's go to kids or whatever, right? This way, you can do that now, right? And that won't break you. That sort of thing. It's a major, major ordeal. Protection. Listen, if you're average, you're radically underprotected, and you guys would normally do this. I mean, you would probably do the figure out what your income is. Right now, you guys, based on what you told me, you guys are making $60,000 a year.
Right.
You're making 30. You're making 30. So really, you're going to need $300,000 on each of you. Right now, you have $150,000 total, and so you're radically underprotected. We're going to be able to put together a plan that's probably going to be comparable to what you're currently spending, but for almost 4 times more protection. So if we can do that, can you see any reason why you wouldn't go ahead with that?
No, that makes sense.
As a matter of fact, I already know it's going to be lower. Darren, you have any challenge with making sure we qualify you? Maybe we could even do that tonight.
No, we can
Get
get
you
more
qualified
coverage
because
for
it takes a
some
while
money.
for underwriting, 60 days or so. We can get you qualified. All I need is a good faith deposit of $68 to get that started. So we'll take care of that before I leave tonight. Okay? Great. Just close it. Just get the check. See how assumptive I was there? Totally assumptive. It's done. We're going to close that.
Sure.
I'm going to get that business. I'm not going to ask them. I'm going to assume. You need to get more assumptive, right? And so that's basically how I'd use that. And then on the F&A, and then in terms of the recruiting thing, again, I would go back to the shortfall thing. Let's say that I come back now, and I've already got the commitments. We're going to do business. I'm going to close them. I'm going to say, John and Claudia, after we did your F&A, you remember we talked about the short when I was here. I asked you, you had 2 choices. One is to reduce your goals and dreams. The other was to make additional income to make sure you accomplish those things. I asked you a question, which one's more attractive to you? And you told me
Make more money.
making more money, right?
Sure.
So there's no question I can help you make more money. There's no question about that. The only decision you have to make is, do you want to make more money?
Yeah, we need to.
You need
Can't
to,
cut
okay.
back no more.
Okay, great. So then what we need to do then, we need to get started right away. The most important thing for us to do is my experience is to show people how this works. Would you do me a favor, Claudia? Would you go get your address book? Because what we're going to do is we're going to put together a list of people we're going to go see. And you probably have any friends that are really good friends of yours that you could just call and say, I'm going to pop over? Do you have anybody like
Sure.
that you have that kind of relationship with?
Yeah, Marco.
Who would that be?
Marco Boyce.
Marco, who else?
Greg Wing.
Greg Wing? Anybody?
Chris Howard.
Chris
I know
Howard?
Chris might be interested.
And I would be writing these names down. Okay? I'd write Chris Howard, Marco, and Greg Wing.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Danny Duffy.
Danny Duffy.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, great. I tell you what we'll do. Why don't we do this? Why don't we call those people right now, and let's set up and to go pop by and see those people in the next couple of days, and then that way you'll get an opportunity to see how this actually works. You've already seen how it works with you and I, right? One of the concerns I usually get from people when I ask them to do this, you guys, is they're afraid that I'm going to go over, I'm going to hard pressure their friends. Do you feel comfortable the way that I conducted myself with you guys?
You educated us, yeah.
You feel comfortable?
We learned a lot.
Learned a lot.
It's still our decision.
It's your decision. I didn't pressure you in any way, right? I just made sure it made sense. I just wanted you to feel comfortable that when we go see these people, that I'm going to do the same thing with them that I've done with you. We're going to treat them in the same professional manner. I give you my word that I would never do anything that would in any way jeopardize your relationship with those people. I want you to feel comfortable with that because there's no way if I go there and I do anything that would offend you or offend your friends in any ways, you wouldn't take me to see anybody else, right?
Right.
Okay, so I know it's in my best interest to do the right thing by you and by your clients, so I want you to feel comfortable because a lot of times people are worried about that, and I don't want that to be even a concern in your mind, okay? So let's get on the phone and let's set those up. And I would take that objection away because a lot of the times the reason you have challenges getting your new people to set up appointments is because they're concerned you're going to go over and hard pressure their friends and do something that their friends later are going to call them, why the hell did you bring Hector over here? That guy was such a... They're thinking, right? They're anticipating that happening. They really are. And they're not moving ahead, and you don't know why they're not moving ahead. They're just going, how come these people aren't setting up appointments, right? The reason is that's a concern, so I want to bring that concern out, deal with it so that there's no apprehension, and they're motivated to take me to see somebody. You see? I want them to see that it's not in my best interest to do that to them because we can't move forward. If I do that, they won't take me to see anybody else. It's very important. So I bring up that objection. I'd always bring that, especially when you have hesitation, because I want them to feel really comfortable about going ahead. Okay, so that's how I would handle that. Now that's how I'd use this thing. I can't see, folks, if you do an F&A with somebody and you set it up properly and you get commitment, how you wouldn't, number one, do business with every single client in every single case. It would be a total aberration for you for me not to close a sale using an F&A. I can't comprehend how you wouldn't close every single person you sit down with an F&A if you get commitment up front, if you get permission in advance. Okay. The other thing is I can't even comprehend how you wouldn't recruit everybody that had a shortfall. Everybody. I mean, if they told me, Hector, I just don't see me doing this, I would say, listen. I could walk away. We did business. I'm going to earn a fee on the business we did. But the truth is, I would be doing a tremendous disservice if I allowed you to do that. I know you don't feel comfortable with it, but I'm telling you, you need to make that $500. Let me go out and show you how this works. Before you make the decision to not go ahead and do the business, let's go see a few people. You don't have to make a full commitment, but come with me, sit by me. I'll do all the work. I'll do all the talking. All I want you to do right now is just to observe, okay? That's all I want you to do. Would you do that, at least for me?
Yeah,
just kind of just do that. I don't want a major commitment because I want to show you. Because once you see it in action and see how it works, I promise you, John and Claudia, you're going to see it in a totally different light. You're going to be excited about it. And you're going to see that it's not that complicated and that you can do it. Most people look at this and it overwhelms them a little bit. They go, they don't believe they can do all this. It's a lot of stuff, isn't it?
Sure is.
But you know what? I didn't learn this in a day, and neither will you. It's going to take you maybe 3 months or something like to figure this out. And I'm going to go with you, and I'm going to go over this as many times as necessary till you feel comfortable with it. I won't allow you to go and see anybody or do anything on your own until you tell me, Hector, I don't need you anymore. Get out of here. I don't need your help. All the way along, I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to help you through that, okay? I want you to feel comfortable with that. So I won't have you do anything that's too uncomfortable for you. I'm going to be there, okay? Don't worry about that. Because I know you're the kind of people, everybody's not the right kind of people for this. I mean, you're married, you're homeowners, you have children, you have good jobs. You don't know it right now because you don't understand my business like I do. But when I sit across the table and I look at you guys are perfect for our business. There is no possible way for you guys to fail if you just plug in and you allow me to coach you and teach you. I won't let you. There's no way because you have credibility. You have work ethic. I know that, right? I mean, you're competitive. I know you're a competitive guy. Someone like you, I mean, you don't know this, but take my word for it. You are it. The only thing that could stop you guys is you. That's all. No one, but you're going to be successful. So I don't want you to say no before you have all the facts until you really understand it. Okay, so would you do that for me? Would you help me out and just come with me on a couple of these referrals? You're going to give me the referrals anyways, right?
Sure.
And these referrals that you're giving me, these 10 referrals that I've gotten, I don't know what they're worth. They might be worth 4, 5, 10, 15, maybe a 500,000, maybe a million. I don't even know until we get to see them. Most likely it's closer to 500,000 than it is to 10 because of the kind of people you are. So I could go earn all that income, or we can earn it together. Which one makes more sense to you guys?
Together makes more sense.
Let's do it, okay? Let me help you, all right? Let's get that thing shored up and get you saving money and get you flush and get your debt paid off. And let's, instead of having it be 10 years, let's do it in the next 2 or 3 years, okay?
Sure.
Great, man. I'm excited. You can't believe how exciting this is going to be. You guys are going to do awesome, man. I'm so pumped up for you guys. See, that's how I would talk to them, just like that. You see how I sold them on them? You need to sell people on themselves like there's no tomorrow. Most of you don't do that. And you sit in front of somebody that's qualified, you need to tell them that, because they're looking at this, they're overwhelmed, they're going, I can't see myself doing that, I can't see myself being that smooth, I can't see myself understanding all that information. That's what they're thinking. Their belief is they can't do it. Your job is to convert that belief, to change it. When I started working with Chris Howard, he didn't believe he was going to make $1 million a year right then. I guarantee you that wasn't part of his belief system. He was going, I could see myself making 150, 200, maybe, it's 300 maybe or something, but $1 million, that wasn't. I worked on him incessantly about that. Telling him every time I talked to him, you can do it, you're capable, you got what it takes, man, you're different, you're special. And so that's how you do it. Same thing with John. I've done that with John too, maybe not to the same extent, but a lot of times, John was not, you were making when you started, how much were you making?
30 grand.
30 grand when we started working together. Now, this year you're going to make
250, 300.
250, 300, right? 5 years later. Okay, well, he didn't see himself making 3. He wanted to just make money to pay his doggone bills probably at that point, right? I mean, that was kind of where you guys were at, not to make $1 million. Have kids and be able to afford a nice house and all that sort of stuff, right? And so you've got to work on people's belief, okay? The belief is what drives everything, you guys. Your belief systems right now are what dictate how you act. If you don't see yourself doing it, right? If you don't see that you could be successful, you will never put the work effort into what you need to do it. You won't, because you're thinking in your mind, I don't see myself doing that. Why should I work that hard? Why should I struggle? Why should I sacrifice? Why should I work 14 hours a day, right? Because your belief is what prevents you from doing that. But if you believe that you were going to make $500,000 a year, who cares if you worked 14 hours a day for 5 years? As long as at the end of the 5 years you know you were going to be making 500 grand and you'd be set and you'd be on easy street. You wouldn't care about how many hours you put in, would you?
Not at all.
So what's preventing all of you from putting that kind of effort forward is your belief system. Your belief system is predicated a lot to a large extent on your ability to do what I'm talking about, to overcome objections and that sort of thing. If you have that down, then you have a high belief. The thing that I had going for me when I came in the business, I already had this Hopkins stuff down, so I had a real high belief level. I believed that if I put the work in, I'd be successful. So I had no apprehension about working 16, 15, 18-hour days. It never even bothered me because I knew it was temporary. I had total belief that it was temporary. So while I was doing it, I never felt sorry for myself. I never felt like, poor me. I just went, this is a means to an end. I'll get there. It's just part of what I have to do. It's a totally different way to approach the business. You with me? Completely different. Okay? So that's why this is important. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you guys.
Awesome.
Appreciate that. The one thing that I'm always doing, the reason I'm a fanatic about self-improvement, folks, and I am a fanatic about it. I spend a lot of money on self-improvement today. It's a normal month for me is to spend about $300 a month at a bookstore, okay? That's normal, okay? Very normal for me to do that. And I'm reading stuff all the time, all kinds of different stuff. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm working hard to raise my belief that I'm worth $10 million a year and $20 million a year. That's what I'm trying to do. I understand that the more information, the more knowledge I have, the more confident I am about what I'm doing and who I am, then I start believing that I'm really worth more. A lot of you haven't put any effort in, so your belief about what you're worth is so low right now. That's why you make what you make. I believe I'm worth every penny of my $200,000 a month right now. Every penny. And I've worked hard at that, and I just want to motivate you to start feeling that same way, but you can't do it if you expect to get all your information and all your knowledge strictly by coming to a meeting or having somebody spoon feed you that information and you don't go out of your way to learn it on your own, right, in addition to what you get in the meetings, you're never going to get to where you need to get. You're just not going to. So what I want to do now is to take the next step, and I want to start taking questions. So there's a mic up here. If you have any questions, any objections that you want to have me overcome, or anything you want to, now's the time to do it. So I guess we're going to start with Chris Howard here.
Great.
Okay? And we'll role play them all, okay?
Great.
So you can see how it works.
Well, one thing is people are starting to see that recruiting is really a sales process.
That's right. That's what it is.
And they need to get good at overcoming objections on the recruiting end of it, just like you did with the F&A and the sales objective. So the main objections people hear is, like Hector, I'm not really a salesman.
You don't really see yourself as being a salesperson, Chris? Is that what you're saying?
No, I've never really dealt with people a lot, and I was a mechanic, and I never really dealt with the public a whole lot.
You're a mechanic right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So were you born being a mechanic, or did you learn how to be a mechanic?
I learned.
Huh?
I learned it.
You learned it
over a period of
Yeah.
years.
When you first started, were you kind of nervous when you started working on your first engine, like you might make a mistake because you didn't know everything?
Well, yeah, I remember
Kind of
that.
felt
Yeah.
nervous about that, right?
Yeah, sure
But what
did.
did you do to learn everything?
I just learned more and read more and did it more.
Put some time in, actually practiced it, right?
Yeah.
Probably tutored under somebody, right? Somebody mentored you, another mechanic kind of helped you a little
Yeah,
bit?
yeah, that's
That
exactly
sort of
what
thing.
happened.
And little by little, your confidence grew as you learned more and understood more about how it worked, right?
Right?
And today you feel pretty comfortable. You look at an engine and you can knock it apart and put it back together and make it work, can't you?
Sure.
Could you ever imagine when you first started doing that?
Well, now you put it that way, yeah, you're right.
Right? So see, learning sales is the same thing. It's really, but the difference is only words. And you know how to talk, right?
Yeah?
So if I can teach you the right words, then there's no reason why you can't do it, right?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Okay? It's just putting the words in the right order is all it is, right? People come up with questions, and if you know the answers to the questions, and they feel comfortable with it, they'll go ahead. That's all there is to it. You could do that. There's no question. If you're smart enough to put together an engine, break it down, I couldn't do that in a bet, okay? There's no way I could do that. That intimidates me like you can't believe. But I
it's not
know
really
if
that
I
hard.
put the time in, you could teach me how to build it, take an engine apart and put it together if I put enough time in, right?
Oh, yeah, it's easy.
And that's just like I know that I could teach you if you're motivated. And you told me you wanted to accomplish your goals and dreams, right?
Yeah.
And you can't do it on a salary that you're making being a mechanic, right?
Yeah, that's
So then
true.
you have to do something different, don't you?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that if I could take you by the hand and coach you and train you and make you feel comfortable, like, you think of any reason why you wouldn't at least give it a go? At least give it a go, wouldn't you? Can you see why you wouldn't at least give it a go?
Well, yeah, if you'll show me how.
I'll show you how. I'll take you by the hand. I'll walk you through it. Don't worry about it. It's okay to feel nervous. Everybody's nervous. I was scared to death when I first started. But you know what? I at least tried. At least I had the guts to try.
Good,
So
good.
you see what I'm doing? I just asked him a lot of questions, right? Did I tell him anything?
No.
See, what most of you are doing is telling. And if you notice, I didn't tell anything. I asked him questions and led him through the questions to that conclusion. I never told him anything. I didn't tell him, you can make a lot of money, you'd be great, we have a great company, PFS is a big umbrella with all these companies under it, and the future's unbelievable. I didn't say any of that, right? Because that's not what he's concerned about. He's concerned he can't do it.
Right.
You see? So telling him stuff wouldn't have helped him one bit. You got to ask questions.
Well, something else, this really sounds interesting in the company, but you know what, I spend a lot of time with my family.
You love your family, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you able to do everything for your family right now financially that you'd like to?
No, not really.
Not really. So are you going to be able to do that with what you're currently doing?
No, my shortfall says I'm $1,200 short here, so...
Okay. So do you think you could get together with your family and talk to them about what you really want to do and explain to them why it would be important for you to invest some time in learning a new business so you can make additional income to accomplish those goals and dreams? Do you think they'd understand that?
Yeah, we just spend, like on Sundays, the weekends, usually we spend the whole day together. Usually we'll just have to maybe make some adjustments.
That's great. I mean, we're not talking about taking every hour of every day. We're talking about maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 hours a week maximum. So if we took maybe a Monday and a Wednesday and maybe a Saturday afternoon, we could probably fit it all in. That would still give you Sundays and those couple other nights, and you could work that out. And it's just like if you were going to go back to school and get your MBA so that you could move ahead in your career, you would get with your family and discuss what you're going to do. That would mean the time away from your family to accomplish that goal, right? So you could improve your quality of life, right? That's the same thing, except we're talking about owning your own business where somebody could have ownership. Don't you think they'd understand that?
So how much time do you think it'll take?
How much time do you think you could invest?
Well,
I mean, if you could talk to them and stuff, what do you think you could invest realistically?
maybe 3 days a week.
3 days a week? Okay. That would probably be somewhere around in the area of maybe 15 hours.
Okay.
You'd feel comfortable with 15 hours, wouldn't you?
Yeah, maybe.
We can get started with 15 hours, no problem. That'll be perfect. We make enough. See what and then once I've got them in, right? We can turn the 15 to 20 or 25, right? But right now, he doesn't understand what's going on. I just want to get him in. Okay, my goal is to get him in, not to just tell him everything. I just want to get a start. And if you notice, I want to make everything seem easy, piece of cake, no sweat. I'll take care of it. I'll do everything in the beginning. I don't want him to feel, I don't want to go, listen, you got to be really tough to do this business. You got to be focused, you got to be intense, you got to be awesome, you got to be, I don't want to do that. I want to scare him to death, right? I want to say, hey, no problem, I'll take care of everything. It'll be a piece of cake, right? And then when I take him out, I make it look easy. One of the reasons that I got people going is when I take them on appointments, I would make it look easy. They'd go, well, that was easy. Well, they didn't know how many hours I put into making it look easy, right? That's okay. I want to lock them in. Once they're in, they're in. Okay? That's the key. That is a key right there.
So you're showing a lot of success. Then I can see that I could see myself learning that, and
right,
it just takes time.
Right, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to be successful. You know, I know about Chris. Chris was a professional motocross racer and stuff. He was a competitive guy, right? And if I found out about somebody, I would ask questions. What did you used to do, you know? And he tells me, right? A lot of you are ex-athletes or ex-something at something you were really good at, okay? I would say, Chris, did you accomplish what you wanted to accomplish in motocross?
No.
You wanted to be a star, right?
Yes.
You wanted to be the best, right?
Yes.
And it didn't happen.
No.
So if there was another chance for you to be a star at something, why would you deny yourself that opportunity to do that?
You're right.
This is your chance, dude. This is your chance to be a star, to make it, to be somebody, to do something great with your life, to be the guy in the headlines again. This is your chance to do that. I'll help you do that, man. I'm telling you, you have the ability to do that. Your competitive nature, your work ethic, you have superstar written all over you, dude. I mean, you have the ability to do whatever you want to do. My coaching, my know-how, and your work ethic, and your commitment, we're unbeatable, man. There's no way. All we're going to do is make money, dude. That's it. That's all we're going to do. See, that's how I would talk to him, just like that. And don't be afraid to do that. Folks, with the F&A, I'm talking to Greg Gunn. This is Greg right here. Greg, we were talking last night. Greg does tremendous at SMART. He's great at securities, and he's great at the life business. He's an RVP. He makes, on an average, $3,000 with each client he personally sees. That's what his average is so far this year, right, Greg? He makes $3,000 per client because he does the F&A and he does all three products. He doesn't just know life insurance, he knows SMART, and he does it all. So he makes $3,000. That is a lot of money. 4 clients a month is $12,000 a month on his own dime. Right? That's big time right there. I'd be recruiting everybody off that. Do you realize, Steve Cross, when I see an average client make $3,000, I see 4 clients a month, I make $12,000. You right now, you have a great job making $4,000 a month, but you could be making 3 times that just on your own, and if you build up a team, forget it, man. You'd be like wealthy, dude. I mean, it would be incredible. How could you not do this? How could you say no to yourself? I didn't say to me, to yourself. Did you notice that? How could you say no to yourself? Danny Duffy.
Excellent, Mark. How you doing? Just a few couple. How about sitting across the kitchen table and getting me to an op meeting?
Like this is an
we'll
appointment?
just got done with the appointment. You get me to an op meeting or someone. Start with that one first.
Okay, so I've done an appointment. We've done a presentation. You've seen the business, right? And now I want you to get to the op meeting.
Right.
What I would do is I would take it off the F&A. That's why I would do the F&A thing. Okay, that's why the F&A and the shortfall thing is like the most perfect lead-in we've ever had. Okay, before it was always like, how do you lead into the recruiting? It's like there, right? It's a shortfall as a lead-in. I would say, Danny, you're most likely going to have a shortfall, and you have 2 options. You can reduce your goals and dreams, or you can make more money. Which one sounds most attractive to you?
Make more money.
Okay. Well, we have a business briefing that we do on Tuesday evenings. And before you make a commitment, I'd like to have you come up and take a look at our operation, the way we do things, our office, and all that sort of thing. So that way, when we come back and there is a shortfall, you'll know exactly what we have to offer in terms of shoring up that shortfall, and then you can make an intelligent, informed decision once you have all the facts. Because you seem like the kind of person that you don't make decisions unless you have all the facts. Am I correct in assuming that?
That's true.
Okay, so would you do me a favor and come up with me and take a look at our business opportunity and what we do in our office? And then that way, when I come back with the F&A, then we'll know exactly where you stand if that's something that makes sense for you. Can I get your commitment that you come up and visit with us on this Tuesday? Does this Tuesday work for you?
You know what? I work Tuesday.
Okay.
I work on Tuesday nights.
Okay. Can you rearrange your schedule?
Yeah, I guess I saw value to it.
And if it was really important to you, would you rearrange your schedule?
Yeah.
Okay. When could you rearrange your schedule?
Probably a couple weeks.
A couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Okay, so when can you find out? Are you going to be at work tomorrow? Can you find out if you can do that tomorrow?
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll give you a buzz tomorrow, and I'll get back with you tomorrow and find out when you can rearrange your schedule. We can set that up. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Great.
Good.
And then just do that, and then I'd follow up. And you know what'll probably happen? He'll probably put me off, right? And then I'll just do it again, and I'll do it again, and I'll do it again. If I think he's qualified and he's in the market, I'll do it till he does it. Till I guilt him into saying, okay, yeah, I'll be there. I've had people put me off 3 or 4 or 5, 6 times. So what? If you're working with enough people, so what? They pop in at different times, right? Just work on them. Don't take that personal that they're doing that. They're only doing that because at this point he still is not convinced there's enough value for him. That's why they do that. It's the only reason. If he thought he could make $100,000, $200,000 a year, he would be asking you when he could go, right? But he's not. But I haven't got him there yet. Okay, that's going to take more work on my part to get him there, to get him to understand that. Take a little time. That's all. So I'm not in a hurry because I'm working with 30 different people right now. See, your problem is you're focused on 2 or 3 people you're trying to recruit. I was working on 30 or 40 different people at the same time, and farming them. Anybody in the real estate business, how you farm, and you cultivate, right? That's what you do, and you build a raise to pop by, and you just keep doing that till you get them popping in. That's what you do.
How about someone like an appointment setting? Like when you sat down with someone brand new, did you make calls for them, or did they make their own calls?
The truth is, I rarely help people set up appointments. Okay? What I would do is I teach them how to set up the appointments. As I got so busy that, and they knew that if they took me, that they were going to get results. They were motivated to get people to see me. They would see that's how I did, honestly. But setting up an appointment, if somebody has credibility, it's easy for people with credibility to set up appointments. The problem with you guys is you sometimes you recruit people who don't have a lot of credibility, and they have a hell of a time setting up appointments because they have no credibility. But people with credibility don't have a problem setting up appointments. Okay? So if you recruit people with credibility, appointments are a non-issue. It's only when they don't have it that's an issue. You know what I'm talking about, right? You hire those people who have no credibility, and you're like, it's pulling teeth to set up an appointment. But you hire somebody, like a Chris Howard, who maybe had a lot of credibility. He just calls people up. It's not a problem. So really, the issue is train them how to do it, but hire people with credibility. It's much easier. The business will go so much faster for you. Okay, if you do that. But you should coach them.
Last question. No load funds. You know what this fund? You know what? Can you tell me a little about no loads? We've been doing some reading and stuff like that, and someone told me, my dad said, don't ever pay your load on a fund.
Let me ask you a question. Are you interested in the return, or you're interested in the cost?
Oh, return, of course.
Return. So if the return was significant enough, then the cost would be a non-issue. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
Great. Well, let me show you the different funds, the different qualities that they have, the different advantages and investment objectives, and then you make a decision what makes most sense to you. The fact is, there are no funds that are completely no load. They all have charges. Okay. A true no load fund does not exist. So either you pay one way or another. There's always going to be a fee of some sort. Have you found that in your life that you get things for free?
No.
No, you don't. Okay. So there's something fixed in there, but most important is the investment going to accomplish your goals, right? Isn't that what you're most concerned with? So if I can put together a portfolio of investments, an asset allocation mix that accomplishes your goals and dreams, and you feel comfortable with that, would you go ahead at that point?
Sure.
Okay, that's what we'll do then. We'll find out what's best for you.
Thank you.
And you make it a non-issue, okay?
As far as like appointment setting on the phone, let's say somebody, you get their number, you prospect them, or it's a referral, and they say, you basically throw the bait out there, and they say, well, I'll call you. I'll give you a call next week, Hector.
Well, first of all, when I'd call to set up the appointment, right, I'd say, Hello, this is Hector Mark with PFS, and I was talking to Chris Howard, and Chris asked me to give you a call. I was able to help he and Susan pretty dramatically, and they were real excited about what we did for them. And they told me that you were the kind of person that if you could earn more money, save money, that you would be open to exploring that possibility. Is he correct in saying that?
Yeah, I'd say so. He's
Okay.
correct.
Well, what I'd like to do is get together with you and share the same information I shared with them. What I do is a comprehensive financial needs analysis. Do you have a financial needs analysis right now?
Not at this point, I don't.
Do you have a FIN number set up already?
Don't know what it is.
Financial independence number? Like what number you're going to need to accumulate to be financial? You have that number?
Well, I have never.
Do you have a
figured that
debt
out.
freedom date set up yet?
Nope.
You don't have any of that yet?
Nope.
Wow. We really need to sit down then, because those are some of the things I'm going to help you establish. Okay?
Right.
So I've got Wednesday and Thursday on my free days this week. Which one of those days might be better for you?
Well, my wife works. We live in Vegas, and it's like a 24-hour town. My wife works swing, and I work day shift. So neither of those days.
When are you
good.
together? What days are you? Or what hour are you together?
Well, we kind
In a
of.
week.
Yeah, we just have a few minutes on Sunday. We usually go to church Sunday morning.
Okay. And so Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, would that be decent for you?
Yeah, we could probably maybe make time then.
Okay, great. So you have a calendar with you?
Yeah,
Why don't you get your calendar out? This is very important. All right, you have a little debt right now. Do you have any debt?
a little bit.
Okay. So one of the things I'm going to be able to help you with is you get completely debt-free. Would you be interested in becoming completely debt-free?
Well, obviously.
That's one of the main. Is that important to you?
Very.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it important to you to get a high rate of return on the money that you save and invest?
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Is it important to you to pay the least amount for the most protection when it comes to your insurance products that you own?
Sure.
Which one of those things would be the most important to you?
Probably getting out of debt at this point.
Okay, well then that'll be the thing we'll focus on the most then. What I need for you to have out when I come by, so that we won't waste any time, could you have your all your savings and investment and retirement information out for me, all your insurance stuff out, so we can make sure you're spending the least possible amount on the insurance that you have, and make sure you have all your your debt information, and then I'm going to help you put together a program to eliminate all those things. I'm really looking forward to it. I think you're going to be incredibly excited. In talking to Chris and Susan, they said you were really fantastic people, and that that you would be excited about it. So I'm looking forward to meeting you, and I've got that in my calendar. I won't bother to call you because Chris and Susan said you were a man of your word, and that's that's good enough for me. Okay?
Great.
Super. I'll see you Sunday at 2 o'clock.
All right. Just one more. I'm not really interested. Not interested at all.
Not interested in what?
Well, in even looking at it.
So you're out of debt already?
Well, pretty much. I really don't have a whole lot of debt.
Are you saving all the money you want to save right now?
Well, just a couple $100 a month. That's about it.
Are you getting the absolute best rate of return you possibly can get on the money that you're saving right now?
Not really. I have like a CD at the bank, and
Oh my God, are you kidding?
well, my
Well,
mom told me.
are you aware? Do you know the rule of 72?
No.
Oh my goodness, we need to sit down. My gosh. Hey, listen, are you spending? Do you feel like you spend too much on insurance right now? Do you like paying insurance premiums?
Not really.
So that if I could help you reduce that, wouldn't it make sense for you to explore that?
Well, yeah, of course.
Listen, I'm going to help you with those things. Generally, the reason somebody tells me they're not interested is they think they're not going to get any value, that it's not going to be in their best interest. Okay, that's usually what they're saying to me. Do you kind of feel like I'm going to waste your time? Is that kind of what's really how you're
yeah, a
feeling
little
right
bit.
now?
Yeah, a little.
So if you felt confident I wasn't going to waste your time, you would feel more comfortable us sitting down, right?
Definitely.
Okay, I
Yeah.
give you my word of honor that I'm not going to waste any of your time, okay? As a matter of fact, this is something I would do sometimes if it was really tough, I'd say, Victor, not to be presumptuous, but approximately what do you earn on an hourly basis at your current, your profession right now?
I make about $19 an hour.
Okay, so I give you my word. If I waste any of your time, I'll probably need to take about 20 or 30 minutes, but if I waste any of your time, I will pay you the $19. I'll pay you $20, okay, if I waste your time. All right?
Sounds good.
That way you have absolutely no risk, okay?
All right.
The worst thing that could
Makes
happen is you could sit there and listen to some guy and he'll give you $20. That's the absolute worst situation, okay? So what day was better for you? I've got Wednesday, Thursday open this week. Which one of those days makes most sense for you?
Thursday.
Super, fantastic. Now, you
Great.
can't do that unless you're confident, right? But there is no way that I'm going to pay him $20. Okay? There's no way, right? Greg, are you ever going to? There's no way. Because I'm going to show him so much value, there's not, but I'm going to take it, I'm going to make it risk-free for him, right? That's why when they have those infomercials, they say 60-day money-back guarantee and all that stuff. The reason they do that is because if you feel like there's no risk, then you feel okay to go ahead. See, what's happening, people are thinking they're risking their time with you. I'm going to make it certain you're not risking any time spending time. It's going to be such an advantage to you to spend time with me, you're going to be nuts not to. Right? It's like working overtime without having to do anything.
Yeah, Hector, this looks like one of those pyramid, multi-level marketing things.
What's a pyramid?
Well, it says, I looked at these, seen a lot of these multi-level things like Amway and Nu Skin, and have never really been interested. Looked into doing those and looked like they don't really make any money.
What turns you off about them?
The cold calling, the contacting my friends and trying to get them involved in something.
So if you didn't have to do that, then would you feel more comfortable then?
Yeah.
So if I could show you how to build a business without having to do those two things that you mentioned, then you'd be open to exploring it?
Yeah, without having to try and get my friends involved and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Great. So when can we get together?
Isn't that what you're talking about doing, though?
Do you want to do it that way? That's a way you can do it, but you don't have to do it that way.
What other way is there to do it?
You can run an ad. You could talk to people that you work with and get them involved. You can network. You could talk to other business owners and have them send you referrals. You can do a lot of different things. Any way you want to do it.
So there's really no limitations?
There's no limitations to how you do it. It's up to you. But even if you did, if the products and the services were so valuable that everybody should own them, would it matter to you if you had to talk to a friend or a neighbor or a coworker or something like that? If you knew that the value was there, in fact, that the people were going to save tens of thousands of dollars and really improve their quality of life, if you were convinced of that, would you feel apprehension about that then?
Not if the products were quality products and there was a true value.
Oh, so then your real concern is if the products have quality and there's true value then?
Yeah.
So that if I could show that to you, then you would feel more comfortable then?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's not a problem then. So when can we get together so I can explain everything to you so you can see that and so you can feel comfortable with that?
Yeah, sometime next week.
Super. I got Wednesday and Thursday, and you set up the appointment. Okay? Ask questions. Find out what the real issue is, right?
I've heard this one, that people don't like to do sales.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you handle that one?
Ask them why. Why don't you like to do sales?
I have. And it's
You have
just
what?
the response is, I don't like sales. I don't
Is it,
like
is, that you don't,
salespeople.
is it that you don't like sales or you don't like the rejection? Which one is it?
I just don't like salespeople hassling me, and I don't like the idea of hassling other people.
Oh, so your perception of salespeople is that they hassle people and that you have to hassle people to be a salesman? Is that
Yeah,
is
that it's a negative image type
Oh.
of thing. Yeah.
Okay, I'm really sorry that you have that impression. That you actually never encountered a professional salesperson, have you?
Well, I've encountered a lot of salespeople.
Yeah, but not a professional one.
I guess
Have you
not.
ever bought something from somebody and felt really excited about making that purchase and you really liked the person that you bought something? Have you ever bought anything in your life that you enjoyed the interaction, the transaction?
Yes,
Yeah? And how do you feel about that salesperson?
that they weren't too bad.
Okay. So if you were that kind of a salesperson, then it wouldn't be bad then, would it?
Not as bad, but something like this seems kind of pushy. I don't know.
What's pushy about it?
Well, it just seems kind of aggressive.
So your perception is in order to be successful, you have to be aggressive,
Yes.
right? So that if I could show you how to do it without being aggressive, then you would feel more comfortable with the process?
A little bit more.
Okay. Great. I can do that for you. That's no problem.
Thank you.
So what you do is you see what I'm doing is I'm trying to find out what the real issue is. Is it aggressive or what's the deal with her, right? She's feeling that way, but the fact is you can show her how to not be aggressive. You don't have to be aggressive to be great. You have to ask questions. It's not being aggressive. Aggressiveness doesn't work, okay? You can close some people. Some people will buy something just to get you out of their house. We have a lot of people like that, okay? We have a lot of people in PFS. We have some people in our organization that are like that. But that's not how you do it, okay? You do it through asking questions and making them feel comfortable about the decisions they're making. That's what you do.
Hector, hi. This is Sean Perry. You came over to our house, and we're really impressed with the products and services that you provided, but me and my wife are doing a lot of thinking, and we're just going to need to cancel our insurance at this point. We've found a product a little bit more affordable for our finances right now.
Okay. How is it more affordable?
Well, it's basically 50% less, and went through some research with some brokers, and it's more coverage for less money.
Okay.
Same 20-year term.
First of all, that if you did an F&A, that wouldn't come up. Okay. That's a non-issue. Price is a complete non-issue when you do an F&A. Our insurance is not cheaper than ever. There's a lot of insurance products out there that are cheaper, and I would never argue with a person on price. And I would never have that problem if I did an F&A first. It would never be an issue. Right, Greg? Never, okay? So if you're having a price issue, they didn't understand the value of the F&A because that would be all bundled into the whole cost of the program. So if you're selling insurance and not an F&A, then that's an issue. But if you're doing the whole thing...
It's not a problem. What do you do to try to maybe save it if it's 1 out of 100?
You can't do anything to save that. If it's 50% cheaper for the same product, I wouldn't even try to save it, honestly. I wouldn't do that. I would say, first thing, I would cover the benefit issue. That's exactly what I would do. I would say, first of all, I'd find out exactly what did you buy. Can I take a look at the program? That would be the first thing, because it could be cheaper, but it could be ART, which means it goes up every year, okay? If it's exactly a 20-year level term product that's exactly like ours and it's 50% cheaper, well, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do, right? There's nothing you can do. But again, it comes back to, if you're selling on price, then that's an issue. But if you're selling the value of an F&A, that is not an issue. Okay, so one thing I would do is make sure I did an F&A with every single client, so that becomes a non-issue. If it's in fact cheaper, I would look at the benefit issue side of it. Okay, does your product have a terminal illness benefit rider? Does it have IBR rider? Does it have, now that we have guaranteed rates, are the rates guaranteed for the entire length of the term of the program? You know that new brochure we have that has all the questions, right? I would read that list of things. I don't have that in front of me, so I don't know all of them. But I would have that, and I would cover every single thing on that list. Does it have all these features and benefits? That would be a main thing. I'd say, did that person set up a program for you that's going to get you completely debt-free? Do you have that program set up already? Do you have, do you have an investment program set up so that you can get the maximum rate of return? See, because if you did all those things, you know, somebody could find it a little bit cheaper. They're not going to switch for that reason. Did you hear what he said there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's another issue.
Also, you know...
Why don't you come and say that over here, John, on the mic? Yeah, we'll repeat it. Okay. This is good. But I still want to really hit hard. I'm telling you, you guys that are running this program, you're not doing it.
What he said, you have to handle all that on the front end now.
Right.
Okay? And do a good job on the front end so they don't go shopping. Cheaper's not always better. Better's not always cheaper. But if people are like, how old are you, Sean? 27 years old. Somebody like that, 30, 35, you want to do the T2000 with the 1000 base with the rider, and that stays level to the amount they pay stays level to 65, and the coverage stays level for 25 years. Okay, it's a great program. And if you compare that to a 20-year term, what the old agents used to say about our 20-year term? What happens after 20 years?
Goes up after.
And what happens after it? It does go up, okay? So is there. So now our 25-year or to 65 doesn't go up. It's fixed till they're 65, and I replaced, it was a real cheap term. They had that, and they needed it for longer. They needed it to 65.
They're younger people.
Right, they needed a program longer than 20 years. I said, well, look at your 21st year. They went, wow. I said, look at this, right? And that's how, so you don't get them replaced on you. So I would use a lot of those.
The difference in the price from the 20th to the 21st year is radical. It's a radical difference, and when you average that out for the next 5 years, it beats it.
And everything's not paid. Their kids aren't totally grown and out of college, and for a younger person, they need a longer term. That's why we came up with the 25-year term. So that's what I would do on anybody 40 or under, which 25 years.
Yeah. Another question you would ask that is that when they're talking about costs, you say, listen, what's more important to you, the cost or the quality of the program? And then they'll tell you. If they say cost is, well, then they need to go with that term insurance. If they quality is and say, well, then ours has. There's a lot of term out there. There's no term that has all the features and benefits ours has. It doesn't exist. There's nothing that's as good as ours from the features and benefits standpoint, even though there may be lower cost ones.
Can I just say one thing, Hector? I was just thinking about it. If you're marketing an insurance and you're an insurance agent, you have a lot of competition in that regard. But you're marketing an F&A.
There's no competition. That's exactly.
So that should be a non-issue.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Exactly.
We're not in the term insurance business anymore.
No, we're not.
If you're selling term insurance, you're selling the wrong product. Okay, the F&A is the product. You're not. If you're selling mutual funds, you're in the wrong business. If you're selling loans, you're in the wrong business. You sell the F&A and then everything else that goes with that. Those are all part of it, but the products are not the products. You need to get away from selling products and into selling the F&A. And then instead of selling one product, you sell 4 or 6 now. We got this new stuff coming out. Another question?
Yeah, I really want to get into this business. It's just I'm not getting the support from my wife. I'm just going to have to pass right now. I'm not getting the support.
Well, Sean, the reason most people aren't getting support from their spouses is they're not making money. Are you making money? The only reason you don't have spouse support is you don't make money. If you make money, I don't know any spouses that aren't supportive. I've never seen any. I've been doing this for 14 years and not seen a non-supportive spouse with somebody that's making money. Okay? So, excuse me? Then, obviously the first couple of months, the way it is set up, has been set up, you're not going to make any money. You just have to get them to understand where you're headed. If the money's, but most spouses will give you 60 days to at least get licensed and stuff. After that, you need to get results. You need to be results oriented. So generally, people that have a challenge with their spouse is they're not results oriented. They have to be results. I mean, you got to get checks from people. That's why closing is so critical. It's so critical to keeping your people in the business. You lose people because they don't make money. End of story. End of story. I have never lost people that really make money and save money and are sound financially. People that leave just don't make money. People that make money stay. I mean, it's that simple. So then the way you make money is by closing, right? Haven't you noticed that? When you close them on giving you a check, you get paid. Okay? So if you don't do that, you don't get paid.
Just another real quick issue on the cost, and especially if you're doing the F&A. I had a client, they had $100,000 in debt, about $100,000 in debt, needed a 20-year policy, but by the way I did the plan, they were going to be debt-free in 10 years or slightly less. So I gave them a $200,000 20-year and a $100,000 10-year rider, and I said, here it is, $118 a month, and in the 10th year, your insurance cost drops, doesn't go up.
How much did it drop by?
It dropped down to 93.
Okay.
And they were ecstatic. And I gave them the referral letter, and they said, that doesn't sound like me. Let me give you my referral letter.
And it was even better than...
Yes, I'm going to get it Monday, as a matter of fact.
What Mark just said there, what Mark did was a custom term. The new F&A, though those aren't aware of it. Do you know about it, Mark? You know about the custom term? Okay, that's what you did. You did it manually, but it's custom term. What he did was custom term. Now when you do an F&A on somebody, it's going to automatically calculate, let's say that the client has, like that, is going to be out of debt in 10 years. It would automatically propose that, and let's say they had kids that were 3 years old, and it was 15 years till they go into college. It'll sell them whatever their college education needs are. It'll propose 15 years for that, and then it'll propose either 20 or 25 for the income replacement, and that client will have 3 different policies, and it'll be paying the lowest possible price for the most coverage, and it'll be customized, and that's another way you eliminate the competition because no one does custom term, okay? And the only way you're going to be able to do that is with the F&A. If you don't do an F&A, you're not going to do custom term on your own because it's too damn complicated, okay? But if you do it that way, it's simple. It's a piece of cake. So it's incredible. I'm telling you, those of you that aren't like 1 billion% sold on F&A, you are so lame, I don't even know what to tell you, okay? Kids that were 3 years old, and it was 15 years till they go into college, it'll sell them whatever their college education needs are. It'll propose 15 years for that, and then it'll propose either 20 or 25 for the income replacement, and that client will have 3 different policies, and it'll be paying the lowest possible price for the most coverage. And it'll be customized, and that's another way you eliminate the competition because no one does custom term. Okay? And the only way you're going to be able to do that is with the F&A. If you don't do an F&A, you're not going to do custom term on your own because it's too damn complicated, okay? But if you do it that way, it's simple. It's a piece of cake. So it's incredible. I'm telling you, those of you that aren't like 1,000,000,000% sold on the F&A, you are so lame, I don't even know what to tell you, okay? It's the future, you guys. It's the thing that we can no longer sell products based on price. You cannot, folks, if price were an issue, no one would be staying in this hotel. There are 50 hotels within 15 minutes that are half the cost. But this hotel is full. Why is it full? Because price is only an issue in the absence of value. That's why, okay? So get off price and get on the F&A and sell the whole package, guys. I'm telling you. It's just, if I had the F&A when I was starting, oh my God, I would have made so much money. I used to sell term insurance, folks. In 1988, I made $855,000. I made about 30 grand selling mutual funds and 825 grand selling term insurance that was more expensive than a bunch of insurances out there. All right? I didn't have loans, and I didn't have I didn't know how to sell mutual funds like we know how to sell them today. I didn't have debt elimination. I didn't have any of the stuff. I didn't have a presentation like this. I didn't have a way to lock my clients in. I'm telling you, you guys should be so excited right now about your situation. It's crazy. Okay? Randy?
Yeah, Randy.
Hi, Randy.
How's it going? As a younger generation, me trying to talk to a older generation, it's kind of hard to get them to, follow what I'm trying to tell.
You have a credibility issue is what you're saying. With the older client, like if you're sitting down with a 45-year-old or something like that, and you're a young guy, how do you overcome that?
I'm just doing it with excitement.
No, you don't do it on excitement. How you do it is you know what you're doing. You get so good at what you're doing that age is a non-issue when you know when you're really competent. People don't care how old you are.
Right.
Do you think the people from Nike care how old Tiger Woods is?
No.
Huh?
Nope.
They didn't care that he's 21 years old and they're paying him that money? No, but you know why? Because he's competent. Do you see? When you know what you're doing, age is a non-issue. When you don't know what you're doing, it's an issue. Okay? So if I'm young, I would become a master of the F&A and all of the products within the F&A and how to explain them and how to answer every question. I would do mega homework to make sure I was super competent so that when I sat with the client, even though I was young, right, I would be so confident in my approach, in my way I answer questions, and the way I lead them, that they wouldn't care how old I was. That's the answer for young people. That's the answer. That's what you've got to do. You've got to do you focus on that, your age, Randy, will never be an issue, I promise you. Okay?
That's what I got posted on my walls everywhere.
Perfect. That's exactly what you need to do, Randy. That's all you need to do. Good job. By the way, that's what all of you should do, okay? I mean, I don't care how old you are, you should do that. But if you're young, it's even more important that you do that, okay?
I have two.
Okay?
One of them is when you're replacing like a universal...
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Universal policy or something like that, they'll tell me, well, I don't want to be screwed again. I want to go do some more research. So how do I overcome that?
Repeat the question because I don't think you got the first part.
Okay. If you're going to replace like a universal or whole life policy, they'll say, well, thanks for telling me, but now I want to do some more research to make sure I'm not getting screwed again.
Okay.
So
Hey, listen, I understand that. So really what you're saying is you don't understand. I didn't do a very good job explaining the concept. That's really what you're saying because you wouldn't say that if you didn't understand. So let's go over it one more time, okay? Your universal life product works this way. It's actually an annual renewable term with a savings vehicle. And then I would actually break it down and show them on their policy. And then I'd say, this is the cost of the insurance. Now, what I'm going to market to you is strictly insurance. You see, this is my cost. It's $2,000 per thousand. Right now, you're paying $8 or $10 a thousand. So if you're only going to buy strictly insurance and it's $2,000, currently paying 8, can you see that there's no possible way that you can get screwed? You're just paying $2 1,000. So that's all you need to, that's the thing that you need to know. I'm not selling you anything else. There's no other bells or whistles. It's strictly protection. And now you understand that it's better to have your insurance and your savings separated, right, after we've discussed that?
Right.
You clear on that, right? So if you can buy your insurance at a low cost, and I'm showing you it's a very low cost compared to what you're currently paying, do you feel comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Well, then let's go ahead and do it. So I'd make sure, see, when somebody says that, they don't understand yet. Whenever you have an issue with a client that's balking on the product like that, they don't understand. And you got to go over it one more time and re-explain it to them and explain the difference in how the two products work, so that they can see it, black and white side by side, which one makes more sense. Because if it's right there, it's right there. Okay.
The other thing, I know I'm not hiring enough people, but when I get somebody hired, I'm like, okay, then we're going to sit down and we're going to do this, and then they'll call me up, well, I've been thinking, I don't think I can do this, and how do I get them to...
How you do it is when let's say that I recruit you, say, yeah, I want to do it, right? They've already said, yeah, I want to go ahead. Right then, I'm not worried about filling out the hiring pack, okay?
No, they have. And then
okay, what I'm worried about is getting on, what's your name?
Sherry.
Sherry, my most important thing, if I get you and we're sitting down and we sit down and you're excited about doing the business, all I'm thinking about right now is getting you in the field. That's all I'm thinking about, okay? That's all you should be thinking about with a new person. A hiring pack is great, but a hiring pack and no results is no good, okay? So my main objective with a new person, Sherry, is listen, the most important thing for you to see right away is results and see that this thing works. Because everything I've told you up to this point, Sherry, is pure theory, okay? It sounds good, makes sense, but unless you actually see it physically working, where we sit down with the client, we save them a bunch of money, we get them out of debt, we help them invest money at a much better rate of return, that's when the business is going to become alive for you and be real. So what we need to do immediately, tonight if possible, tomorrow at the latest, let's go see somebody. Who can we see? Who is your warmest market that you feel comfortable with that you can pop by and go see tomorrow? And I'd close them on getting out like right now if possible. I mean, sometimes you can't do that. It's not always realistic. But that would be my goal. Because every day, every minute that passes from the time you meet with them to the next time you see them, all kinds of things, doubt starts entering into their mind, because the reason they're doing that is they're doubting their ability to do the business, right? So if you say that to them, I say, Sherry, you're obviously doubting that you can do the business. Isn't that what you're kind of feeling right now?
Yeah, I just can't do it. I know.
Why do you think that?
Well, I'm just not a salesman. I was talking to my girlfriend, and it's just...
And your girlfriend is an expert on success?
No, she's not.
Huh?
She's not.
So she's not an expert on success?
No.
I'm not clear why you would go on somebody's advice that's not an expert on success.
Right. Well, I was just really excited.
Don't you think it would make more sense to give it a try and to see before you make a decision on whether it's right for you or not? I mean, because if there's a potential for you to make 6 figures, you're never going to do that at your job. You already told me that before, right?
Right.
There's no chance for you to do that. This is at least an opportunity for you to do that. Whether you do it or not, we don't know. The jury's still out. But at least before you make a decision, say no, let's at least try, okay? Because the worst thing that could happen is you can get a little experience and you can find out. But if you don't try, you'll always be wondering. You'll never know. Give me an opportunity to show you how it works, okay? Would you do me that favor?
I don't spend a lot of time away from home. Can we still do it if I don't spend a lot of time away from home?
I can't hear you.
Can we still do it if I don't spend a lot of time away from home?
Yeah, sure. How much time can you spend away from home?
About 2 evenings.
Okay, that works. Works for me. Fantastic. Do that. We'll take a couple more questions, okay? Because this is long enough. You think? Yeah. No, so I'm saying no. Yeah, we'll all do it again another time, but you guys need to get out to the pool.
We've been doing a lot of cold calling.
Wait, well, listen to this, okay? We're just going to take two more people, and that's it, okay?
We've been doing a lot of cold calling, and the most common objective that we get is, what do you do, and is it commission-based?
Okay.
What would your response be to that?
Asset management.
And then that's what we do, and then we get back, what is asset management?
Well, we show people how to completely become debt-free. We show people how to get the highest possible rate of return on the money that they're saving and investing. We show them how to pay the least possible amount for any insurance coverage they have. Which one of those areas would you be most interested in?
Really, I'd be more interested in just making money.
Okay, well, we do that too. But we'll concentrate on how to make money then when we get together.
Okay. And then the commission part, how would you get around that? I mean, that's the most...
What do they say about commission?
They say
is it commission?
Is it commission? And I'll let them know that we have part-time and full-time positions available. My goal is just to get them in for an interview.
So if they say, is it commission-based? The question is, are you interested in a commission-based opportunity?
Well, my experience with commission is I haven't done very well in it in the past.
And why do you think that is?
I probably didn't know enough about the products that I was trying to sell.
So that if you really knew about the products you're trying to sell and in a really effective way to market those products then, and you can make unlimited income on a commission-based system, then that would be attractive to you, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Okay, well that's one of the things I'm going to show you how to do then.
Okay.
Fantastic. Again, it's just questions, okay? Asking a question, not challenge. All right, Mario.
I don't know if I want to go with the life insurance because I don't think I'm going to die yet.
Do you know the date you're going to die?
Well, no, not really, but I know it ain't soon.
How do you know that?
I'm still young, no big deal.
Are you saying that young people don't die?
Well, not very many of them.
So, Mario, really what you're saying, you don't see the value in it. Isn't that what you're really saying? Because if you knew you were going to die tomorrow, then you'd want to get it today, wouldn't you?
No, not really. I ain't going to get it.
You wouldn't care?
I ain't going to get it.
So what you're saying is you don't care about the people that are dependent on you financially right now?
Yeah, I care about my family, my wife, my son, everything, but...
Well, obviously you don't care, or else you would buy the protection. So either you care or you don't care. You can't have it both ways.
Well, I've got a little bit of protection, but, it's just... With that little bit of protection I got, my family can just go back to Mexico and just be just fine.
Is that what you want them to do?
Well, I guess not. I guess that's why I brought them here.
So then why wouldn't you take care of it what we're talking about cost to take care of this so they don't have to go back is really minimal. Don't you feel it would make sense to make that investment in order to ensure that doesn't happen? Or is that not important to you?
Yeah, it's important. It's just I don't want to leave too much for Sancho.
Well, of course, that's not, the issue is not to leave money for somebody else. The issue is to replace your income. It's not, we're not going to leave them more money we're only going to leave them enough money so they can live like they're living right now, not to make them rich or for somebody else. The only thing it's going to do is right now you make $2,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to leave them $2,000 a month. Wouldn't you want to leave them just the $2,000 a month at least at a minimum?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all we're going to do then. We're going to leave them $2,000 a month. See, what they're seeing is $200,000. They're not seeing $200,000. They're not getting $200,000. They're getting $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
That's what they're getting. Okay. So you sell the number, the $2,000 a month, not the face amount. Okay. It's an income replacement. It's not $2,000 or $100,000. Mm-hmm. Other thing is, where's Joe Barr in here? Joe, come here and tell him what you. This is really good because Joe deals a lot. He's talking about a Hispanic market. This is the macho Hispanic market he's dealing with right here. So,
one of the things that I tell him is that you can't
get closer in front of
it. Sorry. One of the things I tell him is you can't be dead and jealous at the same time. So that usually works.
Yeah. Good.